Okay, so today we're interviewing Mr. Alfred Bean here in Turks and Caicos Islands. Mr. Bean, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm Alfred Honest Bean,
Okay.
the last son of father, the same name, Honest Bean. He got drowned when I was 2 years old, and my mother brought me up, and I stayed with one of the prominent members of the Soulkey community.
Okay, so you were born in Salt Key.
Yes.
Okay.
And they brought me up. I stayed with them and helped them along with their two elderly ladies, and they had quite a number of property and estate.
What part of Salt Key were you born? My mother's family was from
North
Salt Key.
District.
North District, okay.
North District. And I was brought up by one name was Miss Etoile Ostrich.
Okay.
And her sister was one time the teacher of the primary school in Soul Key. And she was succeeded by Miss Mary Robinson.
All right. That's that's Helena Robinson.
That's Helena
Sister.
Robinson's sister. Those Robinson family were a family of teachers.
all educators, huh?
Yeah. And so I was brought up, I was taught I went to school under the primary school education, led mostly under the tuition of Miss Mary Robinson.
Okay.
And I won a scholarship to attend that time it was only one secondary school in Grand Turks, and it was a government secondary school.
Oh, okay.
And
that was after or before the Crawford School?
that was almost the growing part of the Crawford School.
Okay.
When the Crawford School first attended, only well-to-do and rich people, families who can afford, who could afford to send most of them were white folks. Well,
Yeah.
some of them were white, and most of them were prominent people working for government, and they attended. And the attendance, the enrollment was only in the 20s or 30s.
Okay.
They didn't have quite a people.
All right.
The juggles, Mr. Crawford always said when all his colleagues in the Caribbean read about his success, he had a class, of 5 children, all of them passed at Cambridge, and all that. They said, how you managed to do it? How you managed to do it? He said he had small numbers.
Small class.
Yeah, small numbers, small classes.
Yeah.
And, well, my parents were unable to send me to high school, but the Board of Education at that time had a scholarship competition around the islands for the brightest students in each primary school to compete in a comparative scholarship program of the government. And that was the first time they ever did that. Because the Crawford School was, for the elite, the aristocrats and all that. And the Board of Education, they made this resolution that the students who did well or won in the scholarship program, they would attend the Crawford School.
Okay.
So quite a number of us won, and fortunately I was one of the leading ones who.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So you're a smart young man.
Well,
Yeah.
they always look on Soul Key Primary School in those days as the leading primary school in the whole colony.
What is it about the Sulky people that they're all educators? They're all smart people.
But it was due to Miss Mary Robinson.
Mary Robinson. Right.
As I remember, we had quite a number of children from Grand Turks was attending the Soul Key Primary School. The parents wanted them to be taught by Mary Robinson, get some education as they thought. Brother Derek Taylor was one.
Okay. Derek went at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, then from Grand Turk, I never went back to Soul Key to live. But I used to go down there quite often on visits. But took the examination, junior Cambridge at the time. Senior, never reached up to senior Cambridge, or junior Cambridge. We had quite a number of passes, nearly more than 3/4 passes of junior Cambridge. Cambridge University junior high school examination. And after I left the high school, I was able to take what is called the Jamaica logo.
Okay.
Jamaica third year education examination for pupils.
Okay.
And most of us passed that. Also under a Jamaican education officer.
Okay.
Right.
Now, Mr. Crawford was Barbados, right?
Mr. Crawford had passed.
He was Barbadian.
He was Barbadian.
Right. Yeah.
And we had a number of Jamaican teachers after that.
Yeah.
And of course, Ms. Helena Robinson was always the assistant.
Okay.
And
Here in Grand Turk.
assistant high school teacher. And she was now a primary school teacher, she was a high school teacher all her life.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And she did well. She did well on her tenure.
Yeah.
And after that, after I passed that Jamaican examination, the education officer, Mr. Pearson, W.R. Pearson, he said, he recommended me to go into teaching. So he said, you're qualified to be a head teacher.
Wow.
I said, I'm too young for that. He said, but you got to do it. You're a man. You're over 18 years old. You're a young man. And I'm sending you to South Caicos to take over the teaching. If you take the position, in a year's time, I'll send you to Jamaica.
Preparation.
Yeah, so I said, all right, I'll take it.
That's nice.
So I went down, I told my people, my mother, and said, my mother was against it, but she went along with me. My mother and my smaller brother, we went down. I went down there for 1 year.
South Caicos.
South Caicos
Okay.
head teacher.
East Harbor.
East Harbor, yeah. And then after that, he sent me to Jamaica, to
Michael College,
for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Teachers College.
Michael Teachers College.
Yeah.
For 3 years, and after that I taught, first of all, in the high school. They have about 60. The attendance increased, you know, because the Board of Education's program had extended so much that they start taking more children
Oh.
on this
Okay.
comparison, and the attendance in the Grand Turk, they call it now, secondary school, Grand Turk Secondary School,
On the parade.
on the parade.
Right.
Graduated from Crawford School to Grand Turk Secondary School. It had different names as the years went by.
Yeah.
And
Who was the headmaster then?
they had, one was Dunkley.
Okay. I've heard of him.
Dunkley and Pearson. Dunkley was from Jamaica. Dunkley and Pearson was the headmaster. And no, Dunkley was the chief education officer.
Officer. Okay.
He didn't do any teaching, but he supervised the education for the whole country.
Uh-huh.
Primary education, government schools and private schools, and everything in education he was responsible for.
Uh-huh.
What I like about him, he wrote a curriculum, thick book of education for the whole
Wow.
country for 5 years. And
Oh, that's great.
he and with the help of his colleagues, you know, educated colleagues, he and Ms. Robinson and Dunkley and C.S. Jones.
Yeah. Clifford Jones.
Jones is there.
Father Jones.
Father
Canon Jones.
yeah, can't leave him out.
Yeah.
And they all got together. They made this the first time. He was the first time, right, that curriculum for the Turks and Caicos education. And we went on from there. And after I came back from Jamaica, I taught in the primary, taught while not in any primary school, but they made me supervisor of primary schools.
Okay.
And I was there for quite some time.
Now, what year are we talking about here?
Between the years 1960s and the 70s, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And after I came out of there,
So Charlie Bass had left already, or he was
Charlie
here?
Bass came after that.
Oh, he came after.
Charlie
Well,
Bass.
I remember Mr. Bass.
Oh, you are Mr. Bass?
Yeah, in primary school.
Okay. Mr. Bass came after.
I remember Mr. Bass. I remember Mr. Oswald Smith
Smith.
from Saukee, and who else? Mr. Stanley Bean.
Stanley Bean, yes, he came after that, and he was head of the education. He taught first in South Caicos,
Okay.
and then he came up here. I believe he was education officer. I believe so, but they didn't keep me in the primary school too long.
Ah.
Because I was there, but not in the primary, in education too long.
You were the education officer
Yeah, I was education officer of primary schools,
for primary schools. Okay.
supervisor of primary schools, and all around the place, go around. But I didn't stay there for too long. I'd been there about 2 years, and after that, they sent for me down to the administrative office, what they call it now. Natty Robinson was in charge,
Okay.
because they had an offer by Universal Tank Ships.
Okay.
wanted to set up a oil station on West Caicos.
Oh,
and they needed 4,000 workers.
wow.
And
This was before they tried to build the Ritz-Carlton there.
huh?
This was before they tried to build the Ritz-Carlton on West Caicos. The Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This is way before that.
Carlton Group?
The Ritz-Carlton Hotel.
Oh, that's long.
Way
before
before that, you know?
that. Yeah, that's from the 1970s.
Uh-huh.
Then they sent, who's the best person? Alfred Bean.
Wow.
So Natty sent for me, and Natty said, man, take your position, take it. He had a speaker. I said, man, I am, take it. I said, all right.
And Natty was the
Natty-
commissioner.
Natty
he was the
was,
commissioner of Pearl, right? Of
He was the,
Providenciales.
no man, Natty Robinson was the administrative officer, and he was the third man after the commissioner, administrator.
Okay.
And so he said, you take it, we'll support you. So all right, I said, we don't have 4,000 workers here.
No
They
way.
need highly qualified people, and they need
Yeah.
pipe layers and they need seamen and carpenters and
Mm-hmm.
highly qualified people. And what they say, well, first you have to go around and all the islands and recruit qualified workers, carpenters and masons and people of that sort.
Uh-huh. No way you could have found those in Turks and Caicos.
I found one or two.
We barely had 5,000 people living.
We didn't have much. We had about our population then was around about 6,000,
6,000.
6,500, or between 5,000 and 6,500 people.
Uh-huh.
And went around recruiting people from all the islands.
Uh-huh.
All the islands, even down to Whitby and Sandy Point, all those places.
Uh-huh. North Caicos, yeah.
North Caicos, and the whole Providenciales.
Blue Hills. Blue Hills.
Blue Hills. Was
We didn't know anything about Providenciales.
Yeah, Blue Hills was
Blue Hills.
the name of the place then,
Yeah.
and we got their names. But what happened when we discovered that we didn't have the people, we had the administrator had a brother, he was called a development officer,
Okay.
and he compromised and he gave the project over to Nassau. And that's how they got it.
Oh.
But the American investors wanted West Caicos
Okay.
because it's strategically
Situated, yeah.
geographically
Deep
for
water.
for their oil business.
Mm-hmm.
And since they couldn't find enough, workers, the quantity and quality was not there, so but then,
They backed off.
huh?
They backed off.
We had to back off, yes, after that. Development officers said, we can't handle it, and he gave it up. And I was stuck on organizing a labor department.
Wow.
They call it labor office.
Yeah.
I couldn't go back to education. Labor office they needed in any case.
Yeah.
And but first labor officer and labor commissioner.
Okay.
Yeah. And just went on from there. And I noted in one of the files that the administrative officers sent down to me, I saw where national universal tank ships in New York
Okay.
had once asked the administrator, they had administrators coming from England, to help with administrative officers come from England.
Mm-hmm.
They were around the country too, helping the governor, who was then the administrator or the commissioner.
Now that wasn't national bulk ship.
Yes.
Well, it was national bulk,
National boat.
where a lot of our people went sailing.
Yes.
Oh.
I sent off, well, during my term, we sent off 110
Wow.
people altogether.
I know my Uncle John Mystic was one of them.
Oh yes. He's one of the most reliable seamen on the world.
Yeah.
And he was, along with some of the others, reliable. Most of them didn't stay their time. Could they get out there and it was so bad sometimes. The weather didn't, you know.
Yeah.
Chief Minister, the name again,
McCartney Jags.
He's one who went out.
Oh, Jags went too? Yeah. Wow.
I say,
But they were paying good money back then.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were paying, Turks Islanders were getting more money than the Caymanian people.
Wow.
Because the Caymanian people, they had a strong union.
Yeah.
And the union people used to take payment for their membership out of their service, out of their salary.
Right.
So they didn't get as much as Turks Island.
Ah.
And recently, fellas come to me and say, "Man, those Caymanian people on salary and getting retirement benefits from National Park. How come we don't get it?"
Yeah.
I say we didn't get it because we didn't. That wasn't the terms of our.
They went for the salary instead of the insurance and all.
Yeah, we didn't have organized. We didn't have organized labor, and their salary was less than yours. So.
Wow. So
Hey.
Turks and Caicos and the Cayman Islands had some of the best sailors back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We sent 110 people over there.
Wow.
I remember one time we sent out 12 people one time, Christmas.
Wow.
And the girls say, when we had dances on the parade, on the library tennis court, you can't find nobody to dance with.
Yes.
Women dance with women. All the men gone sailing.
Gone.
So, well, that's the only place. And that was keeping the economy going.
Right. And they were able to build nice homes and all that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Send the money back. And,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Uh,
Wow. That's an interesting part of our history.
Yes. And as I stay in Boise,
What?
said,
Yeah.
to live good at home, so you got to go away. So to live well and talk, you got to go away. You got to go away to live home.
Now, Boise Tatum, was he Arthur Tatum's father?
No, Boise, Willie Tatum's Arthur Tatum.
Willie Tatum. Okay.
W.R. Tatum. Willie Tatum was.
Lived down right between the Manse and Spencer Hill.
Yeah.
Right near our house.
That's Willie Tatum.
Okay. So Willie
Stanley
Tatum.
Tatum's father was Boise Tatum.
Okay. So we're talking about two different Tatums then.
Yeah.
So Reverend Stanley Tatum, you talking about?
Reverend Stanley Tatum, yeah.
So his father was Uncle Boise.
Yeah,
We call him Uncle
Boise.
Boise, down on the West Road.
Yes.
Okay. So Arthur Tatum's father was William Tatum. Yeah.
Willie Tatum, yeah.
Yeah. Arthur was my godfather.
Okay.
So, you know,
right.
and they live right near us on North Road.
Oh, yes.
And Minnie and
Shirley.
Shirley and the nurse, Nurse
Wood. Wood, yes.
Yeah, May Wood.
May Wood, yeah.
Yeah, they were family. Oh, okay. So now Boise Tatum was from Saul Key though, right?
He's outside child.
He's outside child. Okay,
Yeah.
From Saul Key.
Yes.
Okay.
Outside child.
He was much darker than those.
Yes.
Than the other.
Yes.
Tatum, because on B was the light skinned one.
His wife, yes.
His wife.
Yeah.
I think she was related to the
South
Bastards.
She's
from South Caicos, yeah.
Caicos, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. That's an interesting history about the national bulk, because I always remember that those guys had money.
Oh,
They
yeah.
made good money.
Oh, yeah, and they put a lot of them on their feet.
Yeah.
But some of them wasted their money,
Yeah, some of them did.
and some of them didn't. But they're supposed to stay
9 months. Yeah,
Some
9 months.
It's 3 months, 2 months, so on.
Yeah.
1 month.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
But
back.
a lot of them stayed, you know.
I'm saying, yeah.
Stayed and they made
did
well.
real well.
Yeah.
So back to the school. So you became principal of the school, or the
No,
high
I
school?
was more or less in
the education
supervisory-
officer?
Yeah.
Okay. All
an
right.
administrative section after that. That's where I left off from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what year did you retire from that?
1972, I went to join the labor department,
Okay.
and from then, after I retired, they asked me to take the position for the registration of interests of members of the Legislative Council.
Okay. All right.
So I was
So
in that
you-
position for about, let me see, 3, 4, 5, for about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And
Who were some of the people that worked with you in that area?
I couldn't, one secretary,
Was that okay?
because it wasn't organized properly, and it was just in the beginning in the birth stage, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have the funds to have a proper office. And all
Office set up.
that.
Yeah. Because that was the beginning. Now, was that the beginning of the JAGS government? And
Yes,
what-
yes, yes.
They started that then at
They
that time.
set that up after the Jays government.
Okay.
They said we want to have a registration of legislative members' interests,
Uh huh.
and we want a registrar of parliamentarians' activities, business activities,
Okay.
and
What-
the commissioner, the administrator wrote me a letter that said it was recommended him that they asked me to do it, and asked me if I'd take it. I said yes, I'll take it.
Wow.
So I was retired then, you see.
Okay. And again, what year was this?
This was in
The 70s?
Late 80s and 90s.
The 80s and 90s. Okay.
Year 2000 round, for the year 2000, I retired around 1999.
Okay. So you already had a government set up. Who was the chief minister then? Was it Norman or Alcee Skippins or Pops Francis?
The one who was then, all those fellows were gone. The one who was then was Mike Missy.
Mike Missig? Oh.
They set up a full-bloom office. I said to myself, you all could find money to set up this office now, but when I was there, I only had one secretary. And I had to do most of the work, go around all the islands.
Yeah.
They opened up all kind of committees and things they had. And they were scared, you know. They were government scared. So they set up.
So, as we kind of wrap it up a little bit, how do you feel about where we've come from and where we are now and where we're headed?
I believe that we are, the labor office, in my opinion, is not properly organized.
Okay.
Because we have to realize that labor, the function of a labor office is to facilitate and promote the productive capacity, the industrial productive capacity of the country through its human resources.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And then they're not doing that.
Oh.
For instance, when you make uh, the employment of foreign labor as an asset, as a means to making national asset, and involve the labor office in that. That is not the proper way to go about it.
Yeah.
You got to train and qualify your human resources.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Labor office is not there.
Yeah.
So, I would say, oh, you there to put people to work and see that people get work. No, ma'am. It's much more than that.
Yeah.
You are there to see that there is productivity
Mm-hmm.
in the activities of your human resources.
So exactly. Yeah.
You see?
And especially Turks and Caicos Islanders.
Yes.
Yes.
Not only Turks and Caicos Islanders, all
Whoever comes to work.
all around the world. That is all around the world. That is the function of a labor department.
Okay.
To see that the industrial activities of the country are facilitating the employment of this human resources. You have to train people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And train them in all the different areas that are needed in working the country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
We're not doing that. We're trying to get as many Haitians and Jamaicans and people to come inside and make them and trying to raise revenue from work permits.
Yeah.
That's not the main function of government.
Right.
You got to put emphasis on. They're doing it now. Put emphasis on training and qualification,
Mm-hmm.
and the right use of your industry, the right use of your human resources
Right.
to suit the needs, the potential of your country.
Yeah.
We want that now.
We're moving towards that now.
Yes, but it's not just to get
Yeah.
money from work permits and
Yeah.
revenue from work permits. Know that now.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
But it was once. You think once my secretary said, "Oh, the labor office don't put no money in the revenue. We can't give you any staff."
Huh.
I say, our function is not to put money in the revenue by work permits.
Mm-hmm.
We are to get people, see that people get trained and that they are facilitated in their employment so that the production of the country could increase.
Right. Right.
The labor office is productivity of the industrial activity of the country through human resources.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
That is the work of the labor department.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got it all wrong.
Wow.
And I don't know if they use maybe they're using it, but I don't know. But for instance, you see in the newspaper all these jobs advertised.
Yeah.
It should be gone through by the labor department.
Uh-huh.
They should have people highly qualified in the labor department
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to vet those.
People coming in.
Vet those their functions and their duties.
Right.
They should have people to vet it because there is a book called the ISO, International Standard Classification of Organizations,
Okay.
in which every job in the world is defined.
Uh-huh.
It's published by the
Wow.
United Nations.
Ah.
And
Okay.
When you say you want such a thing, you look in the job dictionary, you find what all his duties are. I don't think the labor office got that book.
Which they can easily get it online, or they can probably order it from the United
They can
Nations.
order it and get it online, but I believe they got it, but they let it get dust. They don't use it.
They don't use it.
Because they don't have no personnel in the labor office to do that.
Mm.
You know?
Wow.
And these fellas here, why they come here and they publish a long list of duties. So, you know,
Yeah.
but the labor officer is supposed to check on that to see if that is the legal or the actual or technical scientific duties of that position.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You see?
Mhm.
Even a small way, I give an example. For instance, you can't, this is a simple example. You can't say you're employing a maid to all right, you can't say you're employing a cook, and that cook is responsible for seeing that the place is clean. That is not, you can't.
That's not the function.
That's not the function.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And it used to be done.
Yeah.
You say you want an all-round person to do the cleaning and the cooking and everything. Can't do.
Yeah.
You gotta get somebody to do that.
So this is good wisdom for younger people,
Yeah.
that they need people like you to really.
Yeah, the English and
yeah.
most of the setup now is done on the political, mostly on political reasons.
Yeah.
It's a political reason.
Unfortunately.
To make people rich quick.
Yeah.
And the politicians and the business people they get together.
Yeah.
They set up.
Hopefully we can move beyond that.
Yeah, we can move beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I wanted to thank you once again, and again express my sympathy to you on the death of your wife, Liz.
Yeah.
Her father used to be the chief minister, Bob Francis, right?
Oh yeah, he was one of the
Yeah.
chief ministers in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not only lost Liz, I lost my eldest son.
You lost your son too. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. My deepest sympathy on that too.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. And Denisha is your daughter now?
Danica is.
Danica, right?
Yeah, she walking the dog now.
Yeah.
She going to Caicos Monday.
Oh, okay.
The Caicos, I don't know. The Caicos look like they're the capital. I don't know.
Well,
So a lot of the industrial activities and commercial and everything.
yeah, in Provo, we enjoyed it for a long time here in Grand Turk,
Oh yeah.
and
oh, yeah.
Grand Turk was bustling back in the day.
Oh yes.
People all over the place. The naval base, Air Force base,
Yeah.
what the salt industry.
Salt industry and all that.
You know, let me ask you this question: how is it that I know geographically the Turks Islands are really only salt here in Grand Turk,
Yeah.
but they also had the salt industry in the South Caicos.
South Caicos, yes.
In fact, they produce almost as much salt as we produce here in Grand Turk, right?
Yeah. They have the boiling or bubbling hole.
Boiling hole, yeah.
That's the cause of that. They had high quality salt and
yeah. And still have it.
yeah. The
Yeah.
salt is all about salt.
It's all right here.
Salt and salt pond and
Salt
salt
ponds,
cave.
yeah.
It's unraked. It's still there.
Yeah. Some of the young people need to get wise.
Well, yes, they need to. What happened? The salt merchants, the business people, and salt went. The industry took off in Anagua.
Yeah.
They all got scared and left.
Yeah.
Went to North America and
That's Morton salt.
yes, when Morton took over, but Morton first of all invited them to join him,
Okay.
but they refused.
Uh,
And I'm sorry they refused because they should stand up on their own feet,
yeah.
and they should have still go on with the salt because salt is still needed
Yeah.
all around the country,
Oh yeah.
all around the
Oh
world.
yeah. Yeah.
They need salt in large quantities and to put on the streets.
We need it in New York.
Yeah.
We had a lot of snow this year. You
Yeah,
know?
but they don't have enough.
Yeah.
They still need in Japan.
Japan,
Japan
all
used to send big ships when the government took charge of salt industry. Large ships used to spend 3 or 4 weeks going from
Right.
island to island taking salt before
Yeah.
they get loaded.
Wow.
Yeah, years ago.
Well, so what is your prognosis for the future of Turks and Caicos?
Well, I believe they have a future with tourist industry, but I believe that they should not neglect the old traditional industry like salt and concrete
Yeah.
sponge and all that. They should go towards and try to raise it up,
Renew some of it.
renew it in the modern ways, and
Right,
bring it up
yeah.
to standard.
Because we don't want to watch those guys. I tell the young people, you don't know what to see those men working at salt pond in that hot heat
Yeah.
in the middle of the day, right?
They have
That was
mechanized
hard
things.
work
Yeah, it was very hard.
and no pay. Very little pay.
Very little pay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to, sometimes when those salt ships come, where I see sometimes there were people walking there. I don't know.
Very hard
Very hard.
from sunrise to sunset.
They can't eat hardly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two shillings and 6 minutes a week.
Yeah, but they get the point is they get the ships loaded.
Yeah.
It's just, you see the ships sinking down.
That's right, all the
Singing
way
down,
down.
the water say they're paying off for these fellas are walking.
Yeah.
So these
It
people
was
walking
really
hard.
hard work.
Yeah.
I'll never forget watching them.
Yeah.
You know, I felt sorry for a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
them.
how-
You know,
yeah.
I mean, you know, my father was, you know, I tell people we weren't rich, but we were blessed,
Oh yeah, you
and that you know
you were independent and
Yeah, we had our own boats and all that, and they were the pilots.
yeah, you went on in the salt industry too.
Yeah.
You were-
Well, my grandfather.
See,
My grandfather Parnett had owned some salt ponds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know him?
No, that's
Yeah,
before my
yeah,
time.
before your
I
time.
know
yeah.
your dad.
Yeah, you know my father James. Yeah.
yeah.
And Stanley and Down.
Stanley and them, yeah.
Yeah.
They were the notable seamen in those days.
Yeah. And
Joined the Benevolent. He was president of the Benevolent.
yeah, he was president Benevolent for
Best president that they had, looked like to me.
30 years, 30 more than 30.
A long time.
Yeah, he wanted to give it up, but they
wouldn't let him give it up.
They won't let him give it
He
up.
was the best man they had, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, no, he was Oddfellows. He was Oddfellows and Masons,
too.
yeah, because when they had his funeral, the funeral lasted for, I don't know, 7 hours or more.
Yeah.
So but anyway, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Bean, for being able to sit here. How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I 90 plus.
What? Oh my goodness. Oh, Mr. John Robinson told me he was 86, and I thought that, so you're older than him.
Yeah, much older than John.
Oh, you're much older than John. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, much older than John.
So you're 90.
I'm 90 plus. I got
90 plus.
91
This is-
January 9th.
Okay, this is 2021. This is May 2021. So
Yeah.
when is your birthday?
The 9th of January
9th of January. Okay.
9th of January 1931.
Yeah, my mother was born in January.
Yeah.
January 4th.
Yeah.
Did you know my mother, Helene?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Helene Missick, yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know.
she and my sister Annie.
Annie, yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Salkey.
Salkey, yeah. Salkey people, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Methodist Church. What do you know about them?
Well, I'm a Methodist.
Yeah.
From my birth. My mother was a Methodist, but my father was an Anglican.
Okay.
After my father.
So like my father was Baptist, my mother was Anglican.
But
My grandmother was Methodist though. On the Adams side, my father's mother,
yeah.
Laura Adams. You know, my cousin Storm and all of them. Uncle Donald was a Methodist.
Methodist.
Yeah, he was Methodist.
Storm was a Methodist.
Yeah, that was from the Adams side of the family.
Yeah,
You know, and just about everybody in Baxalina were Methodist, right?
Well,
Almost. The Taylors.
most of the Taylor family.
Yeah, the Taylor family. Yeah,
Taylor,
Jags family.
Williams, and all of those are Methodist
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
Methodist backbone.
Well, I'm doing a series on the churches in the Turks and Caicos too,
Okay.
but the three main ones were the Baptists, the Methodists, particularly coming out of slavery,
Yeah.
and the Anglican churches. You're a lay preacher, or
I'm still a lay preacher.
You're still a lay preacher. Okay, all right.
And I was preaching even up to last year, before the endemic. I was still taking service.
Yeah.
But since they had this COVID-19,
And Reverend Claire Robinson is now your
Taylor
pastor.
Robinson, Reverend Julia Williams.
Reverend Julia Williams, Julia Adams Williams.
Adam.
my family is strong Adams on my father's side.
Okay.
Yeah, his mother was Adams. So
Yeah.
anyway, God bless you. Thank you
Yes.
so much, and I really appreciate this time together with you. As I say to everyone, may the Lord give you great health and strength, and may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you, and give you his peace now and forevermore.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.